Hey, 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 I'm back again. And I just want to say now, before the podcast really starts, just excuse the background noise. I'm doing my best to not have any background noise, but there's like a crack in our windows, so you're going to hear the outside. So I'm just telling you now. I'm trying to minimize that, but I can't stop the neighborhood from driving their cars, if you know what I'm talking about. So I know this is an I'm back for the second time, because there's no excuse really, but I'm just going to explain to you what happened. So I got like this whole video set up and everything, and it just took like eons to like put together. And with the air conditioning on, it's just impossible to have both. And the mic is like not working. So I hit a brick wall with a lot of stuff having to do with that. So I'm dealing with like a makeshift setup now. A makeshift setup. So that's why it took so long, because, you know, when you want to do something in one way and if it doesn't go exactly that way, you don't do it at all, and that's what's going on. But I want to still put content out there. So instead of, you know, having the conditions be perfect for me to do it and not do it, I'd rather just do it this way. So I'm not going to get too much into that, because this is just, you know, if you're listening, you're like, all right, who cares about that, you know? But I'm just trying to explain why I was gone so long. And now I'm going to try, I keep saying it, but I'm going to do a consistent podcast on a weekly basis. It's not going to be a video podcast, sadly, until I get some more room and have like a permanent setup where I don't have to set it up all the time, and just the air conditioner and the outside noise just like dead's that. So I tried. There's one video podcast out on YouTube. You can check that out. But for now on, it's going to be an audio podcast until I can get all of my ducks lined up in a conga line. Okay? So that's sad, but, you know, I want to be more consistent, so I'm just going to make sure I at least have an audio podcast out that you could check out if you want. And I appreciate the people that have been, you know, still listening, even though there's been breaks. But I don't want to take any more breaks. And it's not even a break. It's just there's like a lot of stuff going on. And then that. So, but like I said, no excuse. If I want to do this, I got to be doing this weekly. So I'm going to. So moving on for the second time. I'm sweating like a hostage over here. Oh, so for the 4th of July, I went to Coney Island, but I didn't go for the sausage fest. I didn't go for the hot dog eating contest. So I did watch it on television, though. Well, they had, for some weird reason, they weren't putting it on, like, mainstream television. So I was going to get that Fubo TV, but I'm not paying $100 for that. It was really expensive. So I found this Indian lady who was doing, like, a live broadcast of it. And she was like, I got to tell you what happened. So if you didn't see it, Joey Chestnut got attacked while he was eating hot dogs. And I also love, like, in this country, we eat hot dogs to celebrate freedom. Like, that's fantastic. He eats 70 hot dogs, and people show up in droves to see it live. So he was eating those hot dogs, and some guy in a Darth Vader, like, helmet comes out, and it says, like, it was, like, expose Smithfield. And I was like, at first I was like, wow, you know, and this guy, I thought he punched Joey Chestnut. But then as I watch it back, Joey Chestnut, as he's eating a hot dog dipped in water, he puts him in a chokehold. And the lady, like, when Joey Chestnut got attacked, she was like, oh no, they just attacked Joey Chestnut. They just attacked Joey. Get him. Like, it takes him 1 second to realize, like, what's going on. Because this guy, like, runs up to him, pushes him, and he puts the sign up in his Darth Vader helmet, and he puts him in a chokehold. Joey Chestnut puts the Darth Vader guy in a chokehold, and for 1 second, he's choking the life out of him. You can definitely check that out on YouTube. But, so his whole thing, like, I didn't get it first. I was like, this guy, you know, what are you doing? Just let people eat hot dogs to celebrate America in peace. You know, just let this guy eat 70 hot dogs and then go home. There's no reason for all that. I thought it was just violence. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. And then I was like, wait a minute, because I saw that hashtag. I wish I didn't. I saw that hashtag on, I don't think it was a hashtag, but I saw like a video on it on Instagram because it just came up. So I saw that, and it's brutal. I mean, I'm just going to do a little brief description because I know you guys aren't here for that, but I have to tell you what's going on. So that whole thing is that this, it's like a meat packing plant. You know, they have all the animals there. They abuse them, and they, like, take them from their mothers, and they're, like, kicking them and stuff like that, and they have, like, dead animals with alive animals, and it's just, it's brutal, and it's awful, and it makes me not want to eat meat. And, like, I'm getting more disgusted every time I eat meat now. But if you go back in my podcast, I've been saying that for a year and a half. I'm not trying to say, oh, look at me, I'm all, like, righteous and mighty because I don't want to eat meat. I mean, that's great, I don't want to eat meat, but I still eat meat, so I'm not gonna say, oh, yeah, I'm trying. I'm not trying yet, but it is disturbing me, and I'd rather not. So I'm gonna, hopefully, one day I can be vegetarian, like I said, hopefully, because it's just freaking me out every time I buy meat at the store now, and every time I'm eating meat, I'm like, this is what I'm doing right now, this is what I'm eating. Like, I'm not completely oblivious to the fact of what I'm eating anymore. Like, it disturbs me. So, I'm hoping. But, so first I was like, oh, this guy's putting violence on Joey Chestnut for no reason. Like, this dude's just here to down 70 dogs, and then he's out. But once I saw that, I said that's genius, and I stand with him. I mean, I wish he didn't have to. I mean, Joey Chestnut didn't blink his eye. He was literally eating that hot dog while he was putting the guy in the chokehold, and he still won by like 20 dogs. But if you want to, make an impact, these guys are eating. It has to be, the amount of dogs has to be like. How many hot dogs do they have on that table? Probably 1,000. I mean, that's disturbing when you think about it. We shouldn't be celebrating people eating hot dogs at fast speeds. So, I mean, that makes sense because these guys are eating hot dogs for a fun contest on the 4th of July. And he's saying, look at what's going on. We're celebrating this meat eating, and this is what they're doing to get this meat. They're abusing these animals. So I respect it. I mean, he got choked out. You got to watch that video if you did not see it. So I stand with him. I hope one day I cannot eat meat because it's just disturbing. And hot dogs truly disturb me. And before I get to why hot dogs disturb me, there was also this guy that was dressed as a stormtrooper in the back, and he was like there for an additional 5 minutes, and then they sacked him. So yeah, hot dogs disturb me because one time I was eating a hot dog and there was like a string in there, and I don't know what that is. I don't want to know what it is, but when you think about what it is, it's disturbing. So I can only hope one day. That's all I can do. I'm not going to lie on the podcast and be a fraudulent Muppet because that's not how I roll. I would love to, though. I would love to. But then, what sucks is that, like, the Beyond Meat, if you look into that, there's, like, a lot of shenanigans going on with that. So that's a problem. I would think that's a problem. So that's where I'm at. But, if you want to see a guy eat hot dogs at fast speeds, Google it. And then some guy comes out of the woodwork or the woodward with a stormtrooper helmet. And he's standing up for a cause. I respect it. I do respect it. And if this guy told me, hey, do you want to dress up like a stormtrooper? I would think about it. I probably wouldn't because I don't want to get sacked by the police, honestly. And I don't want to, like, go to jail for one day for being an activist and I got to pay a large fine. But, I mean, that's how things... I'm talking about it. And everybody who watched that, even if you're like, oh, like, they're just eating hot dogs, you are thinking about what that guy's doing in his stormtrooper helmet. You know what I'm saying? So, that happened. And you know what's weird, too? Like, how hot dogs are the cousins of sausages. What makes them different? Let me see if I can find out. Let's see. Let me Google this. What is the difference between a hot dog and a sausage? All right. Let's see. Let's take a look. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, let's see. The main difference between a hot dog and a sausage is that a sausage is a ground meat mixture often stuffed in a casing. See, that even disturbs me, that casing stuff. It's like, ugh, what is that? I think I know what it is because I've asked about it. While the hot dog is a type of sausage served in a long roll and topped with various condiments. I know that. The meat itself, why does the meat taste different? Hot dogs and sausages are two meat products that we all love, but most of us don't know exact difference between hot dogs and sausages. Therefore, in this article, can you just tell me, please? Okay, so hot dog is a sausage. Hot dog is a sausage. It is a meat product made from ground meat, usually chicken, beef, or pork, along with spices, salt, and other flavorings. This guy's just telling me one's in a roll and one can be in a different roll. What's the difference? You know what? This is a waste. This article here. Is a hot dog a sandwich? This guy didn't even spell sandwich right. Come on, what's the difference? Let's see. So why do they taste different, you know? Let me see. The hot dog is slimmer. Well, thanks. I didn't know that. That's for sure. Hot dogs are a type of sausage. I knew they were in the same family. I said they were cousins before this. Hot dogs are simply slim, parboiled sausage. Is made with ground meat, usually pork, beef, or sometimes chicken. Though hot dogs have European origins, the delicious fare is linked to an American cuisine due to its popularity. All right, so I guess nobody... Well, and then sausages are usually pork. And fillers in the form of breadcrumbs. I don't like that word fillers, too, when I'm eating. You know, that's a disturbing concept. Okay, so sausages are put together more tightly and are prepared through curing and smoking. So that's why you get that taste. But, I don't know. Have you ever seen a hot dog, like, before that thing's cooked? That thing's nasty looking. I don't know, that looks like some, like, foreign animal that I've never seen. That's disturbing, honestly. So, that's one thing that does freak me out, like, to no extent. Like, I really... Sometimes you can't pay me to eat a hot dog. I mean, there's times I slip up. If somebody offers me a bite, I do have a piece, which I shouldn't, because it disturbs me every time. But hot dogs, really, I can live my life without ever eating a hot dog again. Hot dogs can honestly... They can go to hell. You know, I'm not trying to be... too explicit here on the podcast, but they can. They can go there and never come back. I don't ever need to see a hot dog again in my life. They disturb me. So, and also, like, if you're in the hot dog contest, how do you ever look at a hot dog the same? Like, I never eat a hot dog. If I was in the hot dog contest, I wouldn't eat a hot dog until I was in the hot dog contest again. Like, how can you ever look at that as, like, a delicious food again? Like I said, I don't find it delicious, but if you like hot dogs before that, how can you ever sit down and just be like, I'm gonna eat a hot dog? And if you do, does your reflex, like, come up to, like, eat it quickly and dip it in water? Things I wonder. I actually met Joey Chestnut, which is pretty funny. They had, like, some kind of, like, hot dog festival at, like, a Met game where they were gonna put him in, like, this majestic seat of hot dogs, like he's the king of hot dogs, which, you know, I guess he is. There's nobody really vying for that title, you know, that's even close to getting near him. And then he had, like, a hot dog crown, whatever, but he was walking around. I was like, can I get a picture with you? And he took a picture with me. He was actually very nice. But, yeah, I met him. Joey Seedling. I met him. That was cool. I also saw this. This is just more disturbing news on the front. I'm sorry, everybody. I mean, I know you're here for a good time, but, you know, sometimes things get real. And what am I, just not going to talk about it and pretend that everything's all, like, you know, cherries and sunshine? No, I got to talk about these things. So, this was awful. This was an awful sight, and I've never seen anything like it. So, there was, like, I was standing outside, and across the street, there was, like, a pigeon. There was, like, well, first of all, there was a bunch of, like, birds squabbling about. So they were yelling and stuff like this. I'm like, what's going on? You know, maybe, like, the storm's coming, or, you know, a heavy wind knocks some of the, you know, filler out of their nest. You know, I was thinking that. Or maybe part of their nest fell on the ground. I didn't see no eggs. So I was like, why are all these birds squawking right now? And then I found out. Shortly after I found out. So there was, like, this So in Long Island, you don't really get pigeons. You get these like squabs. They're like fancy pigeons. They're like a lighter color, like a beige color, like a beige brown color, and they look very elegant. Like, the first people, whoever were to draw in like Europe would draw these like elegant birds, not knowing what they are. They're definitely cousins of the pigeons, but they live on like the really nice side of town. That's what these pigeons are. So they look really elegant. Looks like somebody brushes them. And we all know they don't because they're wild. Speaking of wild. So you have these elegant looking pigeons, and then there was one, and he was like wobbling away. Like something was wrong with his wing. I thought there was some like pigeon kind of altercation, and he fell out of the nest. That's what I thought. So he's, or she, I don't know what it is, and I have to, it's 2022, so you have to try to, be correct about these things. So I don't know what it was, and it was hobbling away with one wing. Like, with one wing was, like, a little, like, close to its body. So I could tell, like, something happened to its wing. So I was, like, looking at it, but it was, like, going down the street already. So it was, like, already, like, in the movies when, like, somebody drives into the sunset. It's, like, you see them and then they're gone. So that's what happened with that pigeon. So when I was looking at that, I hear some more squabbling. So then there's, like, a gaggle of pigeons and, like, some baby pigeons. But also not pigeons. They were, like, just these little brown birds that look like Pidgeot from Pokemon. Like, they don't look like they're related to these light brown pigeons. They're like these little, you see them everywhere, just like the little pigeonlings. You see them, so they didn't look related. But okay, so there was the older birds that look like pigeons, and they had like these baby birds. So then I was like, why is everybody screaming? Like, what is going on? So I'm there, and it's this crow. This crow was hanging out by their nest. And so I was like, so the crow was now on the ground, and there was this squab, this beautiful pigeon. So this crow, I thought they were, in my mind, I don't know, I honestly didn't know what was going on. I thought they were playing maybe, because it's the bird kingdom. And I never thought birds did that. I never thought birds ate other birds, which I know, like, of course, like the vultures, the carrion, whatever, they'll eat a human being, they'll eat birds. I know that, but I never knew, like, crows and pigeons, because a plump pigeon is around the same size as a crow, but I never knew that, like, crow prey on pigeons. So I honestly thought they were doing, like, a play fight or something. I don't know what they were doing. I've never seen this in my life. So this crow is, like, pecking at this pigeon. And I, like, run over there. I'm like, hey, like, get away from that pigeon. And he flew away for a second. And then the pigeon got away. And then the crow came back. And then he was like, I thought he was just eating grass. That was naive of me to think that. I thought he was eating grass, because I also think birds eat grass. Don't they? I mean, I swear I've seen that before. So the bird was... So before he was attacking that light brown pigeon. That light brown pigeon. So that was like, it was like black on gray crime. I didn't like to see it, so I was gonna stop it. So I went over there, I stopped it, okay? And then all of a sudden, the crow's back. And I was like, oh, he's just pecking at the floor right now. And I look closer, because I have 2 astigmatism, so it takes me a second for, like, everything to calibrate for my eyes. So I went a little bit closer, and he was, like, hitting a baby bird with his beak. I think he was trying to eat it. And then I ran over there. I'm like, move. Like, leave that bird alone. Leave it alone. So he flew away. And long story short, I had a lot going on at the moment. So I turned around and I was like, okay, like, this bird's going to be scared of me and leave the crow. I turned around for 1 second. He came back. He took the baby bird up to the ceiling. And that was the end. It was like Discovery Channel, but live. And I never wanted to be a part of it. Or not Discovery Channel, the Nat Geo. I don't want to see that. I hate that. Like, when I'm just flipping through the channels and it's like, we're here in the African tundra, and then there's a cheetah that flies by and it gets a gazelle. I don't want to see that. I didn't ask for that. Or, here comes the gazelle. I mean, it's always like a British guy. It's always a British guy. And it's like, so here comes the cheetah, and he's coming in at the speed of 90 miles an hour. And then next to it, we have a gazelle just eating his berries. But, this is what happens in the wild. And then And then the cheetah gets him. And it's like, I didn't want to see that. I know that's what happens. I can't be frivolous to what happens in real life, but I don't want to see that. And I didn't want to see that with those birds. And I tried my best, and then I thought about that for like a week. What else could I have done? I just never knew he was going to come back like that. I thought like the bird would be like, well, this human is like 1,000,000 times my size. Why would I come back if she's shooing me away? And I don't even think to be honest, I don't even think he ate the bird. I think he just killed it. And it was awful. It's awful. And I was wondering, what am I going to do? Throw rocks at somebody's ceiling? I can't even see. So, yeah, it's sad. I mean, I don't want to talk about it, but it happened. So I wanted to tell you because it's like therapeutic for me. I say it and then hopefully it can leave me for a little bit. So, on a friendlier, happier note, I've been going to the pool lately. And I've been tanning this alabaster skin. So that's good because like if you put in certain situations, wherever you put me, like I'll glow. Like, you don't need lights. You put me in a dark room and I'll light up a good part of the room with just my legs alone. So I'm trying to get tan, But like I said, for me, the tan only lasts a short time. But I at least want to like not even like a day. It'll last like half a day. I was like, oh, your freckles came out and then right back, sliding right back into being white. So I want to get that good tan. But see how the only way I get that good tan is to become disgustingly red and sick. And then I have a little bit of a tan for a few days. So I'm just trying to get like that thing that they say in the books. Like go get 15 minutes a day and you'll have a tan. We'll see about that. So far I'm evading scientific evidence so far. So far I would not. They would have me in like the testing room and they would say for some reason she's not getting tan. So if I was being tested in like Ireland. So that's happening. But my skin as of right now is still alabaster. It's still alabaster. Oh, so there's also this thing called the CERN Collider. And let me see if I can get exactly what this thing does, but it's a pretty disturbing thing, I think. Like people are just saying it's just for scientific evidence, and they're just doing, they're breaking new boundaries in science, and it's like maybe we'd rather not do that. I would think maybe not, right? If you've never heard of it, let me tell you what it is. What? Whoops! I sent it to myself. So let's see. Let's take a look. And I'll explain to you what this is. Because I had to do some research. Because it's a lot of like scientific terminology. So let's take a look. Okay, CERN is located on the Franco-Swiss border. And is officially known as the European Organization for Nuclear Research. And is an acronym for the French Conseil Européen pour la Recherche Nucléaire. So that helps nothing. That literally gave you no information and didn't give me any information. Okay, the organization's been around for a while. Founded in 1952, the organization is known for providing world-class physics research with a focus on understanding the atom. Okay, so this is what it is. This company, CERN, has put out a Large Hadron Collider. And I'm going to try to explain to you in like scientific terms of what this is. Located at the CERN's Particle Physics Laboratory just outside Geneva, Switzerland, is the Large Hadron Collider, otherwise known as the LHC, is essentially a mighty atom smasher. So that sounds fun, doesn't it? According to CERN, the LHC is the world's most powerful particle accelerator. Using a ring of superconducting magnets, it was designed by scientists to test the theoretical predictions in particle physics. And they want to get the answer to what is dark matter, what is dark energy, why is there more matter than antimatter. So they're tampering with subatomic particles at the speed of light. All right. So they're because this whole article is like saying that, oh, conspiracy theorists, I mean, but what they're doing is using two beams of energy to create particles. And that, in essence, I was reading that could create a black hole. So what we're doing is literally putting on our caps and saying, let's hope for the best. I mean, how is it that they're going to do this and there's, like, not really any repercussions? Like, if something bad happens, it's already going to be too late. Like, we don't really hear about it till it's got to happen. And then when it happens, we better hope that nothing happens. And they did this and they found some new particle by doing this. But in essence, people are saying, they can't create a black hole. But I was reading they could create a black hole. So are you saying you could create a portal of some sort? I mean, or a hole in the world's, in the Earth's atmosphere? I mean, under this toupee is a tinfoil hat. I'm not going to lie. I call myself a conspiracy realist, not a conspiracy theorist. Because conspiracies are only conspiracies until they're proven not to be. But this just doesn't sound kosher to me. And I love this, talking about this CERN and this portal thing, and then Kim Kardashian is O.J. Simpson's daughter. So maybe is this a reliable website? Let's see. Can CERN create a black hole? Let's see. Curiously, nobody's ever shown that the prevailing theory of gravity, Einstein's theory of general relativity, actually predicts that a black hole can be made this way. Now, a computer model shows conclusively for the first time that a particle collision really can make a black hole. Okay, so this is what people are talking about. So is it truly conspiracy theory? They can create a black hole, which who knows what else they can create. And a black hole, isn't that a portal to outer space? So I believe that. I do believe that can happen. And it's great. I mean, apparently, maybe things went okay because, me and all my belongings didn't get sucked into a black hole yet. But that's just scary that if they put, the electromagnetivity up a little bit too high, we could be messing around with things that we shouldn't be messing around with. Like, for me, there's lines. Like, God made certain things and maybe there's certain things we shouldn't be doing. And like I said, I believe that. I believe there's a lot of things, we only know about the surface of what's going on this planet. So I absolutely believe that can happen, and I don't think people should be messing with it. I don't need no demogorgons coming out of those holes. Well, I'm just trying to, pick up my groceries. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's going on with that. And it's like every day this world gets more... This world gets more like a sci-fi movie. It's like you have these robots at ShopRite that detect messes, but don't do nothing. I got in this one's face. I cornered it. It did nothing. It didn't even call for help. And I never see it detect anything. I was in front of it, didn't detect nothing. If I'm in front of it, wouldn't it detect, there's a human here and it's bullying me, right? It didn't detect nothing. So how's it going to detect a spillage? It's not going to detect nothing. But we have robots at ShopRite. That's happening. I know in China, during the whole... the virus spreading, there was they have these robo dogs that tell you, get back in your house. So that's pretty crazy. You would think that's, only in Terminator you see stuff like that. And that's real life. And these people are trying to find a particle. Are you? Or is this going to create a hole in our atmosphere? So that's going on. I'm just trying to give you guys the information that I know. So you could check out these things and say, what is going on? So, I also read, this is also crazy news, this stuff interests me, politics, I don't want to ever talk about, really. I hate it, and everybody, that's all everybody wants to talk about. One time, I was out in public, and I was like, come on, man, and that's just something, me and my dad say sometimes, and it just sounds funny, so that's why we say it, and then some guy comes up to me, and he's like, is that Joe Biden? Are you doing a impersonation of Joe Biden. Not impersonation, impression. I always get those messed up. And I'm like, no, dude, I'm not doing an impression of Joe Biden. Why would I do that? So I could have somebody talk to me about Joe Biden? So I could start a conversation about the president? I don't want to do that. Who wants to do that? I don't want to do that. I'm just saying, come on, man. Because something fell on me or something like that. That's why I said it. Not because Joe Biden. And he says it in a totally different tone. He's like, come on, man. Come on, man. Oh, come on, man. He says it like that. Did I say it like that? I said, come on, man. I said it really, like, high-pitched. That's what I did. So please don't tell me. If I want to say, oh, that's my Joe Biden impression, I wouldn't have said it. And then a discussion would ensue about Joe Biden. And then probably end up about his politics. And then somebody would probably mention Trump. And then what did I do? I opened a can of worms that didn't need to be opened. That's why I told him, no, I didn't. And then I moved on. Sounds like I'm a little snarky today, but I'm not. I'm not a little snarky. I have a limited time to do this podcast before distractions come about, so I'm trying to get it in. So, if you feel like I'm being aggressive, it's not aggressive towards you. It's aggressive towards my schedule. So, yeah, that happened. The pool, alabaster skin, I spoke about that. Oh, so this is crazy, too. So, scientists, this is actually a good development, but if you have to kill a pig to do it, I don't like that. So they said that a pig heart was replaced, like a human was having trouble with like their heart, so they put a pig heart in there, and they said that the human body completely adapted to the pig heart. So that's happening. I mean, that's a pretty interesting thing that you can do that, but it is sad if they're going to like murder an animal to do that. So, I mean, we're using it for food now, for bacon, and then we're also doing that. So that's happening. I thought it was a very interesting development. I love that. Like, I'm on the news like, there's an interesting development going on. That's all I know. That it was successful. That's pretty insane, honestly. Like that you could do a mix and match with a human body. That's, buy one, get one free, that you could do that. And I wonder how long a human would last with a pig heart. Because pigs' lifespans are shorter than ours. How long is a pig's lifespan? Let me see. How long is a pig's lifespan? 15 to 20 years. So I wonder, if that's what's keeping them going, is that how long you have left? Oh, and also, there was another thing I wanted to tell you about that Hadron Collider. I was reading about it, and this is nuts, right? Let me tell you. So, weasel apparently shuts down world's most powerful particle collider. Are you kidding me? Oh, this is awful. Museum displays the weasel that brought down particle physics. They killed the weasel and then put it in a museum. This is a sick world we live in. You know that? Okay, so I gotta read this article because this is unbelievable. I mean, something that can create a hole into outer space. A weasel got into this laboratory and had to shut down the Hadron Collider. A weasel. So, I mean, if it's something this important, a weasel was able to get in there? A weasel weaseled his way in? I love that. Weasel apparently shuts down world's most powerful part. That's great. So if that weasel went there and with his paws and slapped a bunch of buttons, this world could be gone. The Large Hadron Collider, 17-mile superconducting machine designed to smash protons together at close to the speed of light. That's fantastic. I mean, we can't even conceptualize the speed of light. And that's what we're doing. We're putting a neutron and a proton and smashing them together and seeing what happens. That sounds extremely dangerous to me. Okay, it went offline overnight. Engineers investigated the mishap and found... Oh, that's awful. That's awful. Found the charred remains of a furry creature near their gnawed through power cable. Ugh. They had electrical problems and were sure it was caused by a small animal. The organization runs the $7 billion particle collider in Switzerland. And also, where do they get this money? Is that my tax-paying money? Yeah, so they were preparing to collect new data on the Higgs boson, which is like they say it's like a particle that like would explain a lot of how the universe has been created. Yeah, a fundamental, can't talk today, particle discovered in 2012. The Higgs is believed to endow other particles with mass, and it is considered to be the cornerstone of the modern theory of particle physics. All right, well, I guess they're not going to talk about the weasel anymore and how the weasel got in there. You know, what if he was trying to save us from what was going to go on with this? You know, that poor weasel. How did he get in? I mean, shouldn't this be like locked down like crazy? You mean to tell me a weasel got in there? I mean, that's a disturbing thought. You know, what if he gnawed through the wrong wire and then shot it off and then ended the United States and the world? I don't know. Anything can happen now. So, and this is also weird. There was like, I'm so interested in this type of stuff that we don't really know what's going to come of it. But my conspiracy mind, like I'd like to think, but what if, you know? So this was weird. It's this thing called the Georgia Guidestones, and it's like a monument that was put in Georgia, and they don't know who put it there, and it's like supposedly like the rules of civilization. And they had like a bunch of celebrities say like, yeah, like that's the right way. I think it was Yoko Ono. She went down there and she said, yeah, like these are the guidestones of a civilization. Like the right way of civilization should be run. And it was so weird. Like one of the rules were like keep the population under 500 million. And the population of the world today is, what is the world's population? Okay, 7.753 billion. That's of 2020. So we can add a few more numbers to that. So, but I just find it weird. And people were saying like they do like cult stuff over there, like rituals and stuff. So it's like, who put it there and why? And like saying that, you know, what do you like? What's the plan to exterminate part of the population? I find that also very weird. And then it was destroyed like a few weeks ago. Like somebody bombed it. So I wonder why that person did that. And is that to distract us from other things going on? I just find that so weird. And those are like the rules of civilization. Why was that person able to put that up? Like it's just very creepy all around. And just that's pretty much all the information on it. There's not a lot of information on it. So, and it was also talking about like having like a one world kind of governing system. Let me see the rules on Guidestone. Let's see what the rules were. Yeah, resolving external. So rule, passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. Which, I mean, that's not an awful statement there. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Okay, that sounds good. Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. See, avoid petty laws and useless officials. I don't like the world court type of thing. Because I don't, you know. That reminds me of something else, you know, that people theorize about. And I don't like that. And I don't think that would end well. If we had one kind of power ruling over everything, I just don't think that would end very well. So that's another thing. So you can look that up, and then there's not a ton of information on it, but it's just a weird thing that happened all around with the creation of it, with the rules of it, and now the destruction of it, which is very odd. Oh, I've also... what was I going to say? I went to Vegas, and it was like 111 degrees there. Like me, you leave me out there, like, you know how you can put an egg on the ground and it cooks in like 5 minutes? If you lay me on the ground, I would just become like an omelet within 5 minutes. Like, nobody's walking the streets because it's so hot. It's unbearably hot. And then when I was down there, I did like a wrestling event. So that's fun to watch. I did that. I gambled. This was the coolest thing. This was the highlight of the trip. So I won some money on like sports gambling, which is awesome because I'm like, you know, I can pick and choose and make some money. You know what I'm talking about. So other than that, I probably was even on that. So I'm lying. I didn't like make big bucks. But this was really cool. This was like a dream to me. I always dreamed about this ever since I saw this on cartoons as a child. So I was sitting there and everybody's smoking. Because you could smoke in public there, like in all the casinos. They're smoking. And I have not bad lungs, but my lungs are very, I can't be around cigarette smoke or I hyperventilate. Happened to me once as a child, and it happens to me all the time now. The cigarette smoke I just cannot handle. I don't know why. So, and I also can't hold my breath underwater for like 5 seconds. I can last like 10 seconds, then I gotta come up. I can't stay down there. So I was there at it was like the 777s machine or something like that, and I was doing penny slots, because I was like, even if I make $1 on some pennies, that's still making money. I'm a businesswoman. I'm a businesswoman. So I put in $1, and I was like 1 cent, 1 cent, 1 cent, 1 cent. I was losing, and then I accidentally, like my hands, like one of my hands flopped over and slapped the 25-cent button. So I did it, and I was upset. So I was like, oh man, that's like 1/4 of $1. And mind you, I already spent like 15 cents on the pennies. And then I clicked the 25 cents by accident, and then the thing goes for like 2 minutes, and then like there was like a bunch of like elderly around me, and they were like watching me and giving me like the side eye, because I guess like that's also a dream for anybody. I think that's a dream for a child to win that, and a dream for like an elderly or a middle-aged person is to get that. So I did it, and I'm like, go, 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 baby, go. I'm screaming at the machine, and I'm like, what is this, And it keeps going, and I'm like, I'm going to be like a quazillionaire, because this thing kept going. And I was like, this is a dream come true. And I was really like reveling in it. I was really sitting there and taking it all in, and like really listening to the ding. And like, I pretended in my mind like the coins were flying out, and the coins were like hitting me all over, and I was just smiling because all the coins were all over me. And then, because it's by ticket now, so you get the amount on a ticket, and then you go bring it to the guy behind like these fences or whatever, and then he like hands you the money, because like they don't want you robbing the place, I would think. So I was like, this is awesome. And then I clicked the button, and it was $30 mother effing dollars. $30 mother effing dollars. And I was so happy, because I spent 65 cents. No, I didn't even spend 65 cents. I spent like 15 pennies and 25. So 15 pennies and 25 is 35, 40 cents. And I got back $30. And then I called it quits after that. I think I played a few more penny slots and like some other things for $1. And I said, I'm going to collect my chips, and I'm going to move forward now. That song, know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away. I knew when to walk away. I lost like $2 spending money after that, and I knew when to walk away. I walked away with my fortune. But that was beautiful. That was like one of the coolest moments of my life. Like if you play some like rap music in the back to that is like such a cool moment. Like if you would have saw it live, and then me like slow motion, like throwing my fist up in the air and stuff like that. But I was also trying to keep it a little incognito. Like I was like squealing and stuff like that, but I was trying to keep it a little incognito, because I don't want somebody robbing me, thinking that my $30 was like $500. Like $30 is a small fortune to me, but somebody would be like, her thing was dinging for like 5 minutes. She definitely won like $2,000, and then I get robbed in the parking lot, but I didn't. So it was an older crowd, so it was good. So that happened. That was like the highlight. I'm trying to think if anything else really happened. I went to see the Eagles, and they sang, hometown in California, such a lovely place, such a lovely place, swinging up California. So they were doing that. It was awesome to see it live, and I know the words, but I like the dramatic interpretation that I just did. I think it makes it more interesting. So I saw that was really awesome. I ate we ate like tacos every day, because there was like a taco truck next to our hotel. And that was it. I didn't really, we wanted to do Area 51, but we just ran out of time. But next time I do, because I was looking it up, and there's like gates that lead to Area 51, and legally you can go all the way up to the gate. Just don't be touching the gate, but you can pose in front of it. You can lay down, take photos right there. Or you could set up, like this one kid was like camping there. You can, because they have the property. If you're like causing a ruckus, of course something can happen to you. But if you're like just visiting the outside, you can. So I want to go over there, because I also think that there's a lot of shenanigans going on there. Because why would you have a secret base that nobody can go to, and which that's for all military bases or all like government bases, but how come we know nothing about it? because there's things that they don't want us to know. But I do want to go there. That's on my list. Like, it's nerve-wracking to have, like, people in the distance pointing guns at you, honestly. But I've always wanted to do that. And I'm not going to be like, well, I'll just do it another time. And no, I'm not going to do it. Like, I want to do it even though I'm going to be nervous. Like, that's what life's all about. As long as I'm not, like, running around and screaming, they're not going to do anything to me. Legally, they can't. But it's scary because, in a way, like, if they wanted to, they could do it and hide it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I go there and say I get taken out, right? Nobody will know. And then they'll never know. They'll never think, oh, well, she was visiting Area 51 and then something bad happened. Nobody's ever going to think that. So in reality, something could happen. But I do want to do that one day. That is on my list to do, and I will. I'm also going to Florida in a week. So I'm definitely going to do a podcast from Florida. So I'll definitely give you the update of what's going on there, if I got tan or not, and what's going on down there. So I'll be there for like 2 weeks. So hopefully I can have 2 podcasts come out of that, which would be awesome. So I'm going to record the pods. And it's getting a little long, this episode. I wanted this to be 20 minutes. But I could talk forever. I could honestly talk forever. To myself. I'm in here in a room by myself. I could talk to somebody that I barely know. Like, some lady at the laundromat was, like, telling me about why she's even there at the laundromat, like, what she's washing. And I was talking to her for, like, 10 minutes. And I would have just continued to talk to her because that's just how I am. I could talk forever. So I'm just by myself and I could talk forever. Which I think is a skill. Some people say, oh, we'll judge that. I think it's a skill. So I'm going to use that skill for this podcast. So, I guess I'll leave it on this note. So I've been watching a lot of Kat Von D, LA Ink. Like, I never watched it when it was on. But honestly, that show was like a train wreck. You can't look away. There's like a lot of drama going on. The people that get tattoos, like this one lady got like a raccoon Buddha. And it was like, why? Like, you want to know, why are these people getting these tattoos? And then, so it's an interesting cast of characters on that show, let me tell you. But what I love, it's just interesting, you know what I mean? It's like, and like, if you see that too, like, a lot of tattoo people have a very, like, they all act the same. It's very like, I don't have to tattoo you if I don't want. I mean, they're not like that in that show, but I've had like a lot of interesting, like, interactions with tattoo artists. Like, some of them are really nice, but then some are just like, like it's a privilege for them to tattoo me. And I'm like, I'm paying you this money, but I got a $5 tattoo. So that's all I got right now. But I do want to get one professionally done by somebody that was on LA Ink, and she's in Pittsburgh now. And I have, like, there's a God tattoo I want to get, like a Bible verse. So a religious tattoo, and I also want to get a line from an Amy Winehouse song, What's Inside Her Never Dies. So I love those two, but I don't just want, like, words. So I have to see if I want to get something actually done, like a piece done, a bigger piece. Because I don't think I want words, because I already have a P from my grandpa on my wrist. That's the size of like a dime, a little bit smaller. And that was extremely painful. So I have to like be careful what I'm going to get, but I don't just want words all over my body. I would like to have some artistic representation of something. So I have to figure that out. But it's just an interesting show, and I want to see what the hype was, because there's this channel that plays all old shows from like 15 years ago. So I'm like, oh, why not? And then it's interesting what's going on in that show. There's just a lot of shenanigans, and it's like, people are living their lives like this. It's nuts. So, but I love the thing. She walks in with sunglasses, and she's like, dude, like, what is going on, dude? Like, that's rad. That's all I have. But that's what she does, and it's so funny. Just like the way she speaks and acts, it's like awesome. And now I say dude like all the time. And just like sunglasses and bandanas and boots. And I know like she had that whole, controversy. I even forgot what it was about, because I don't, I was never really, I was young when that whole thing came out with Sandra Bullock's husband or whatever, but the show was interesting, and like, they're all like, dude, what? What's going on? Like, it's just funny. Like, there's a microcosm of what's going on in that tattoo shop. So, but other than that, yeah, so I've been watching that, people getting, like, potatoes tattooed on their body and stuff like that. It's just, I could see why people watch it. It's like the Kardashians, too. It's not like anything. You're not going to leave there and you're going to have, like, if you didn't have glasses on before, you're going to have glasses and a suit on. It's not like you're going to learn about, history of the world. You're just going to see people acting like Muppets, and you have to see what's going on. That's where I'm at. I have to know what's going on. But this one lady got a tattoo, and it was "Fortune favors the bold." And I was sitting there, and I almost had a tear in my eye. Because it's so true. There's so many things that life wants to give you, and you just have to be there to receive it. You have to be willing to go out there and take it. So, I think that's an awesome thing for me. I love that quote. And I heard it before that show. But it's just so true. Fortune does favor the bold. When you put yourself out there, you get a better return. So, I'm working on that and just putting out everything I got into this world. My love, my hard work, my passion for things. I'm putting it out there, and I want to see where that goes. But I think that's for everyone. It's an awesome thing. It's to put yourself fully out there. And fortune does favor the bold. If you're just sitting there twiddling your thumbs, nothing will come. But if you put yourself out there and you let it be known to the world who you are, I believe good things will come. So, whatever you like to do and what you are, put it out there. The world, I think the world will reciprocate kindly to that. So, I think it's just a beautiful quote. And I'm going to be as bold as your girl can and see what happens. And I think for everyone, it's just a beautiful thing. So, I feel like I'm just walking in circles with that. Like I said, I think it's a beautiful quote. The lady got it tattooed on her. And I love it. Be who you are and be who you are unapologetically. Unless you're hurting somebody, then don't. Because some people act in a certain way and you're hurting other people. But, show your love to the world. Show your passion. Show your hard work. Show what you have to offer to the world. Because the world will offer things back. So, and I wish I didn't trip over my word there, because it would have been a wow moment. And maybe you're tearing on the other end of this. But now I was offer. So, sort of kind of didn't make the quote the way I wanted it to be. But it's all good in the hood. And under the hood. So, you know what? I'm going to leave you now. I know this is a sad goodbye, but I'll be seeing you in a week. I'm going to tell myself this has to get done. Because there's nothing else but excuses. I'm not going to say, oh, well, if I fell down the steps, I should still do a podcast. That didn't mess up my larynx, right? So I'm going to be back, and I hope you enjoy this episode. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Sending all my love to everybody. And if you don't feel love today, I hope you know that there's people that love you out there. So I'm going to leave now. I'm going to leave. So peace out. Love you, cousin. Have a great rest of your day and week. And I'll be up here soon. Up here. I'll be doing it again soon. I'm really out now, because now this is just getting ridiculous. I've been saying goodbye for the past 2 minutes, but bye. 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 I'm further away now. Bye.